too. You guys are going to be shocked and surprised too. We're live on YouTube. Welcome everybody. We're live on Entrepreneur Facebook, Kohler Facebook. I am here to answer your question. That's all I'm doing for this hour, is answering questions and trying to help get you some money. It is a crazy, crazy economic disaster out there. So sad, so nuts. And my heart goes out to so many of you. So all I'm doing is living on donuts and Mountain Dew. I've already drank 2 rock stars today. I don't think I can break into a third one or my brain will explode. And I've got my whiteboard here. We're gonna answer questions. So we're gonna get into it, people, and we're rocking. Caden, we're looking good, sound and audio and visual. I love being with you. This is good times, I guess. It's bad times, right, Logan? All right. I'm gonna jump into questions. We're gonna give away some books today. Can people see my books? Is this good? We're gonna give away books. We're gonna do a raffle. We're gonna eat some donuts. We're gonna kill it. All right. For those who don't know me, I really am legit. CPA, attorney, author, podcaster, blogger, trying to make you money in this stimulus package crazy time. So, Lucy, and I want to know where people are from. I don't know where Lucy's from. Lucy's from somewhere out there. Lucy I won't say her full name because, you know, attorney-client privilege. All right. Lucy says, what is the definition of employees per the EIDL application? Do I have to be a W-2 or 1099 to count? People, we're talking W-2s. They have to be an employee as of January 31st, 2020. Now, of these 10 strategies, should I throw down the 10 strategies? Should we just get them out there? IDLE is one of them. I'm gonna do this from memory because my life is this, I consumed by this. So let's get our whiteboard in here. We looking okay? Can we see it all right? All right. So number 1 is your stimulus checks. Anybody that has not received their stimulus check yet or stimulus wire transfer into your account, you may want to ask a question. We'll hit it. Number 2, we could talk about unemployment. And then we've got the 2 big, and unemployment's crazy right now for small business owners. Some states are getting it, some aren't. What do you have to do to get it? We'll talk. Number 3, we could talk about the EIDL, which we thought was going to be $10,000 per business. Now it's $1,000 for every employee, W-2 employee, you had on the books as of January 2020. As of today, the SBA has turned off the website on how to get, or the application for the EIDL, which is really crazy too. They should turn it back on once we get more money. Congress has ran out of money on the first round of help. They're fighting over it right now. Text Nancy Pelosi if you want and say, Nancy, get me some more money. It's turning into a brouhaha at the Capitol. Hopefully we're gonna get another $250 billion. There's thousands of you out there that have applied for the PPP, which is number 4. And there's no money there right now. Banks are holding off. They're not taking any more applications. We can talk about it. I'd still get your application ready so that the minute Congress, they're gonna approve more money. Treasury Secretary, Donald Trump, the Senate, they all want to get money to you. It's just they're fighting over the provisions right now in this next round. Number 5, we could talk about emergency paid sick leave. Number 6, we could talk about Family Medical Leave Act. I've got clients that are putting their spouse on their unemployment, and I've got other clients that are saying, in my small business, I'm going to have my spouse claim emergency paid sick leave and the Family Medical Leave Act and get the PPP and get an IDLE. People, I've hit a 6 out of 10 with one client, got them over 200 grand. Some clients, we're just getting 5 or 10 grand. It's a little all over the board. So, all right. Now we could talk about accessing your retirement accounts. We could also talk about, for those of you that had an SBA loan before this all started, that is an option. We could also talk about the employee. This is number 9. And I've added to my 8. This is the employee retention tax credit. And then there is the deferred tax payments. And this is a whole other thing. So now there are 10 strategies that I'm trying to help my clients get. We can talk about any of these 10. The time is yours. Okay, Aaron, this due's for you. All right. Aaron S. says, I set up an S Corp per your recommendation a few years ago. My fitness business pays the S Corp, then the S Corp pays me and my wife. How does the EIDL and PPP loans work with my S Corp? I've already filled both out for the fitness business center. How does it work with the S Corp? Thanks. Okay, so this is a great question, Aaron. Aaron has a partnership. In accounting terms, we call it a PHP, partnership. It's probably an LLC, and it is paying his S Corp. Now, I'm assuming, Aaron, that this LLC has its own EIN. It is applying for the PPP based on the employees of the LLC. You and your wife, I'm going to put husband and wife, are the only employees of the S Corp. So Aaron, now I did this in my law firm and accounting firm. I can get a PPP in the law firm and then a PPP in my individual S Corp. They're two different businesses. So Aaron's allowed to do that. So Aaron, you're going to get a PPP based on the salaries of you and your wife. You could also get an EIDL, which will give you $2,000 because you're the only two employees. So 2 employees, $2,000 under EIDL. Then we go apply for the PPP. At the LLC level, we're going to add up all your employees' payroll, plus health insurance, plus retirement accounts. And you said you already applied, so you're going to do this plus, take the total, divide it by 12, and then multiply it by 2.5. So there's that. Aaron, you're going to do the same thing over here. So you can do a PPP and an EIDL up here. You can do a PPP and an EIDL down here. You're just going to go through the same application. I got the application right here, somewhere. Here, it's right here. Got my PPP application. It's 2 pages. Easy, shamizy. So simple. You guys could do it. It's right here. This is the PPP application. Now you do the EIDL online at SBA.gov. They've turned it off for now. You do the PPP at a bank, and bankers are not accepting apps right now. I know, it hurts. But you got to learn this because the money's going to come and you want to be ready in line to go when the money hits again. All right, next question. Then we're going to go to our live questions. People, we got live questions ready to go? Okay. This is Don R. I want to know where you guys are coming from. I don't know where Don's from. It says, hey, Mark, if I fill out the direct deposit on this website and me and my wife file jointly, do they figure that out and send 2 checks, 1 check, or am I going to get a check for me or something? Okay, Don, here's the deal. For people, we're talking about stimulus checks now, stimulus checks. And I just had a phone call with a client on the way here with eating my donuts that got divorced last year. And so she's filing single. So she'll get $1,200 and then her husband will get $1,200 because he's going to file single. Now, if the IRS, if you don't file for 2019, they're going to go off what you filed in 2018. So Dawn, if you fill out direct deposit on the IRS website and they know that you're filing jointly, they're going to send you $2,400 to that one bank account. They're not going to send 2 different deposits or 2 different checks. If you file married filing separate, then you could both put in different bank account info and they'll send $1,200 to each of you. But it appears you're going to get 1 check based on the facts you gave me of $2,400 to the shared bank account that you submitted. Last question, then we're going to you guys live. Whew. We have a lot of viewers right now. Are we cranking? I want to say all of you thanks. Don't go anywhere. I'm here for you. We can talk about tax planning, but I know it's all stimulus package. All right, hold on. I'm going to come to Lisa in a minute. Alma G. Alma G says, what to do if, after inputting your information on the IRS website to track your stimulus check payment, and it says, according to information that we have on file, we cannot determine your eligibility for a payment at this time. What that means is, Alma, you probably haven't filed your 2019 tax return. If you're saying, hey, where's my stimulus check? The IRS is going, who are you? When's your last tax return? So, Alma, I'd make sure that your 2018 is filed properly and your 2019 is filed. I'm not kidding, on the way over here for this client I just mentioned, that's been divorced. We filed her 1040 today. She didn't have a lot of income. She went through divorce last year. There's some, settlement stuff going on there, but her return was pretty simple. Filed it. And we put in banking information with the IRS. That way she'll get her check right away. So Alma, if the IRS website cannot track you or they say they don't have enough information, you probably haven't filed your 19. Now, Alma, I don't know all the facts. If you say, yeah, I filed my 19, I would call the IRS and check on your 19 tax return. Now, the hold time is long right now. The IRS is a train wreck, but that's okay. It's that way this time of year. Find out if your 19 return is even on the system. You should be able to log into the IRS now and see where your tax return is at as well. But I'd get filing. All right, I'm going to eat a little chocolate donut. Well, you tell me Lisa's question.
Okay, Lisa asked, I have not gotten my stimulus check. Some say if you owe back taxes, you won't get it. Is that true?
I was expecting a longer question, Lisa. Where's Lisa from? We don't know. All right, Lisa. This was a news coverage item on CNN last night. What Congress has asked is that if you have back taxes, student loans in arrears, or even creditors that are garnishing your wages, they are trying to put a halt to all those collections and get your stimulus check to you. Now, I have to say that situation is in flux right now. That's what I'm seeing. Now, some of you watching this may have a better answer than me. I would love it if you have a link to any information on the IRS website or SBA. It's going to be on the IRS website for this issue. I would love you to put a link out there. Just don't tell me what you think. Provide a little bit of documentation on the chat here below. But my current understanding is the IRS and Congress is trying to stop any collections from happening. They want that stimulus check to get out into the economy, not into the hands of creditors. And they want you to get that money so you'll go spend it and stimulate the economy. That's my current understanding. And it is a little gray right now. I had a question from a client earlier today that said, I have prior student loan debt. Are they going to nail that stimulus check for my student loan debt? My understanding is Congress is trying to prevent that. They want you to get the money. We'll see. If you see anything in the chat window, team, let me know. Okay, we got a question from William.
Chicago.
From Chicago. Thank you. We have a Chicagoan on the line.
How does a no-employee owner of an S-corp get assistance? Idle, alone, decline, PPP?
Okay, he's a non-employee owner?
No employee owner. So he doesn't have any employee. And he has an S-corp.
Okay, now William, and everybody listening, this is a problem, and this has happened with a lot of our clients. People that are asking questions. I don't want my clients to have problems, but sometimes it does. We take a client, now remember the trifecta. Let's do the trifecta. When I have a client, we generally want to make sure they have an LLC on the side over here for rental property, if they own rentals, their own home, if they own a home. It all is owned by the trust. Your trust owns all this. Then over here, you may have a day job, or your spouse has a day job, and then you may have a sole proprietorship, but as you make more money, you're going to graduate into an S Corp. Or you might have an LLC that we change into an S Corp. So this is very, very common for my clients. This is the operations side. This is the asset side. Any of you watching this that have seen me before, you know where I was going. Okay, now William says, I've got an S Corp. I own it. All right, I'm going to assume he owns it 100%. And he says, there's no employees. Now that's, no offense, that's odd. Because it tells me either the S Corp is making no money or William's made some mistakes. Because when you own an S Corp and it makes money, you are required to take a salary, which means you are an employee. So let me make up 2 or 3 assumptions to answer his question. We'll go on to our next one. One, if the S Corp's making no money and there's no employees because you're not making money, you're not going to get much previously through this stimulus package. You're not going to get a PPP. You're not going to get an idle. Now, moving forward, if you start making money this year, there's some other things in the stimulus package. And I brought this up a little earlier. There's this employee retention tax credit, which can be up to $5,000 once you start making money, William. You can pay yourself and get a credit for $5,000 up to the first $10,000 you pay yourself. That's new. That's good. You can do that later this year, but you got to make some money. So I'm going to say if William has no employees, that means he's not making money. You're going to have to wait for the employee retention tax credit later this year. You have until December, and you can get $5,000 for every 10,000 employee you have, which you'd be the first one. If you're making money last year and you didn't pay yourself a W-2, you're going to have to create a 1099 to your own Schedule C and go apply as a sole proprietor for the PPP and the EIDL. William, you need a consultation. Now, one thing I'm going to tell everybody, and this is not to be an infomercial, I want you to find a professional, someone you can trust, and that's licensed, either a CPA or attorney or financial advisor that can sit down and go through the stimulus package and can break it down like this. I have 5 tax lawyers and 3 CPAs. We're doing calls in the evening and on Saturday, very affordably, to spend an hour with any client that wants it and helps them with their strategy. Again, this is not an infomercial. Don't call us if you don't want it. But if you can't find anybody, check us out. William, you'd be a good candidate for a call because it's weird a little bit. You have an S corp but no employees, which means you're not making money, so maybe there's no call at all. If anybody needs a consultation, this is our phone number, and you can talk to any of our schedulers when you call the line and say, I need one of the tax lawyers. You might be out a week, but it's okay. This is going to be an ongoing deal for the next 3 months or so be patient. All right, next question. Eileen from Miami. I love it.
Yep. So she asked, I'm an independent contractor, so a 1099. What do I qualify for?
Okay. Eileen, very good question. She says, I'm an independent contractor, which means she's a sole proprietor. She can have an LLC. LLCs don't save taxes unless you tax it as an S corp. So Eileen is a sole proprietor, so she has her 1040 tax return, and there's this little schedule off to the side called the Schedule C. Schedule C. And when any of you get a 1099, driving Uber, Etsy, eBay, PayPal, Uber Eats, whatever, you're just driving, you're making money, you're a consultant, you're making $100,000 as a realtor, you're making $5,000 as an Uber driver, or vice versa, I don't know. Eileen, if you're a 1099 employee, you can get some good stuff here. But the first thing you have to do is you have to file your 2019 tax return. Your 1099s come in. Everybody, when you go file for unemployment, if you are going to as a small business owner, or you're going to try to go get the PPP or the tax credit or whatever, you have to show up with your tax return because they don't know how much money you made. They don't care about your 1099. They care about the net. So what you're going to do is record all your income. You're going to put all your income in here from your 1099s. Then you're going to write off all your expenses. And then whatever you net, that is what the PPP is based on. So if Eileen tells me, oh, Mark, I netted 50, well, I'm going to do 40 grand because the math is easy for me. She says, oh, I made 40 grand last year. Okay, 40 grand divided by 12 times 2.5 is $8,333. That is her PPP. I've done that math so much the last 2 weeks. That's her PPP. It's 8 grand. It's not bad. And there's other things we can do, but your question, this would be the first thing you do is do a PPP. That's what we want to worry about. Okay, next question. Sonia.
Sonia from Maryland. If you get the PPP loan and still open for business, you will pay your staff from the PPP loan, and the money you generate is basically the business money. Is that correct?
Woo! Okay, Sonia is a corporation, and she has a PPP loan, and she's still open for business. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's do the math here. But first, our special guest showed up, and he is geared up for the coronavirus. Also, Matt, I brought this just for... There we go. We're in Idaho. Yeah. We got Matt Sorensen here. Woo! Can you believe it?
I came prepared. I want to let you know that.
Yeah, I'm on you.
I've had some symptoms, so.
You, no, you haven't.
I shouldn't even joke about that, but.
You do have symptoms?
No, I'm just teasing.
All right, take that thing off so people can see it
Yeah.
then. Okay, this is Matt Sorensen. If you've been on entrepreneur.com, he is the guy that's had more articles than even me out. I don't know, he's staying up all night writing articles. And you got to pull up a chair and help answer questions.
Okay.
We got a good one from Sonia down
I
in.
just heard it. That was a good one.
Yeah. Where's Sonia at again? Where's Sonia from?
Maryland.
Maryland. It's funny, Sonia, you bring that up because our own Matt Sorensen, my partner in the law firm, not partner in life, just that's bad. You can have, same-sex partners, but we are just law partners. So,
All right.
yeah, just throwing that out, just
Yeah,
because when I
thanks
say
for
he's my
clarifying.
partner. Can we see okay? We're good and we can do this when we need it?
A little bit this way.
Bring it this way?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, our camera guy's got us, all right. So Matt Sorensen went to Maryland University. Is it called University of Maryland or Maryland University? Is there two of them?
University of Maryland School of Law. So,
Okay.
yeah, what was her question?
I'm gonna bring it up. Do you want a donut? I got donuts too.
Yeah,
We're live.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So Sonia's question was, she's got an S corp. She has employees. Employees are EES in kind of our world, but we'll go right here. Employees. Now she says, really her question is, how do I get this forgiven? I got my loan, and so we're hoping Sonia got her money, right? That's what she's saying. I got my money. She's pretty lucky. In the last 10 days, since they opened the gates on the PPP, not a lot of people have seen their money and ran out today.
Yeah.
So Matt's kind of an expert on this forgiveness. So I'm gonna let Matt take control of the I'm gonna get a donut. Well, you just tell her. So let's just use an example. Let's say Sonia got 100 grand. She got 100 grand in her PPP loan. How, Matt, does she get that forgiven? And let's say she got the money yesterday. You
Okay.
have the power now.
Okay. This,
All right.
this is awesome. Okay. Sonia?
Uh-huh.
Sonia, okay, you've got 8 weeks from yesterday, okay? 8 weeks. I like that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So now you want to track all of your payroll, all of your rent, any mortgage you may have in your business that's like debt, and then also utilities. So those are the main 3 items. Now, most of it is going to be your payroll, and you would have qualified for $100,000 based on your payroll costs over the last year. So you should have a good amount of payroll, and that's what you're going to do. Now, timing is important. One thing with that 8 weeks that's interesting, you got to look at your payroll cycles. So when you get your PPP loan, that 8 weeks starts clicking. So you've got to track, what are my payroll cycles for my employees or even for yourself? You want to try and squeeze in as many payrolls as you can into that 8-week window. And it's going to be payroll you pay. I had a question on that just even as I was coming over here from a client, what about the pay period was this time, but I don't pay it until next week. Well, it's when you pay it of when they're going to count it. So you want to track that. Those are the 3 items that you will track in terms of your forgiveness. Now, at the end of 8 weeks,
You got to put in a new application. See, there's really 2 phases. Well, there's kind of 3 phases. Phase 1 is getting the money, and you got to have an application for that, which we've shown them. I got it right here. Got your little PPP application right here. You got to get the money. Then number 2, you got to spend it wisely, and you have to spend it. That's phase 2, and you've got to spend it on this list here: payroll, rent, interest on debt, utilities.
yeah. Don't spend it on anything else unless you're okay paying it back.
Yeah. And then what you want to do is make sure this adds up to the 100 grand. And the math is we're gonna be back a lot in the next 6 to 8 weeks, giving you more specifics, because you don't want to call us after the 8 weeks and go, okay, how do I get it forgiven? You want to call us on week 7 and go, okay, I've spent this much. What do I do with the last 10 grand?
Yeah.
You might even be able to put money in your 401k and have it forgiven. There's a lot of strategies here.
Throw out some bonuses.
Bonuses, all sorts of good things.
Seriously, like if this money's
Yep.
going to get forgiven, hook your employees up and yourself. Now you've got the 100,000 annual limitation. You can't get crazy for yourself or employees, so you got to watch that.
Yep. And this phase 3 is you got to get it forgiven. And we haven't even seen that application. And so banks are going to come back to you and go, okay, here was your app. Here's how much we gave you, how much you want forgiven. And then you're going to have to prove it. Now, the banks want you to get it forgiven because they turn that in and the government pays them. Anything you don't get forgiven is 1% over a 2-year term and the first 6 months are deferred payments. But the interest starts right now, the day you get the money. 1%, not the end of the world. 1% per annum per year. I mean, it's like 0.00,
that's-
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
the
good
best
rates.
deal you ever get on a loan.
That's the rate your mom or dad might give you, if you're lucky.
If they like you.
Yeah. All right. Next question. What do we got?
So, my mom and dad gave me that rate.
I know it's true. You want to donate? I got the due. I got the due.
So I have Darren from Pennsylvania. Hi guys, any strategies for rental property owners?
Let's move on.
Darren,
Oh, Darren.
we got nothing but bad news for you. Well, there was. The government giveth a strategy, and it was called the EIDL, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan.
Yeah.
The government taketh that away. That happened just the last couple of days. So there was a $10,000 immediate grant you used to be able to get. It would have qualified for those that had rentals.
Okay, I got one.
Okay.
Okay.
That one's gone. Let me just say
Yeah,
that the
yeah.
idle is gone because they changed it on it because there were so many people that applied for it. The SBA had to come back and say we're only going to give the idle money, economic injury disaster loan, which included a $10,000 grant. You didn't have to pay back. We're only going to do it to people that have payroll, and there's $1,000 per person on payroll, up to 10.
And you should have seen it today. I got a text from a client. They shut it down. They're not even taking idle apps now.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Okay, now here's the strategy though. I've got one. Now out of the 10 strategies, you have to remember the stimulus package is to try to get people back to work. Now, it's a little crazy that they're ramping up unemployment because people are making more money on unemployment. So they're not going to want to go back to work until unemployment's over. It's crazy, whatever. But this money is to get people back to work. They've kind of left the rental property owners out in the cold. And it's going to be a buying frenzy this fall with people that have to unload real estate that they may be stuck with. So I think we're going to see another active real estate market this fall that we haven't had in 10 years and since 07, 08. Now that's just my prediction. Mm-hmm. So I think buyers, you want to be ready to pounce on some deals maybe this fall. Now, with that said, the idle, Matt said, the 10 grand's not there anymore. But here's another piece to it that you might like. There's an A and a B. The A is the 10 grand. It's gone. It's now 1,000 per employee, and they even turned that off. But you have to apply for the A, get rejected. So once they turn on the website, you'll apply for it, but the A gets you in the front door, and then you want to come over to the B. And the B, you can get up to 200 grand without collateral, 2 million. It's the typical economic disaster loan you've seen out there for a hurricane or a fire in California or something like that. And you can get a loan, 3.75% interest, 30-year term, and that you have to prove that you've been damaged because of the coronavirus. Now, if your tenants quit paying, that sounds like damage to me. So if you feel like the rental's worth saving, you might want to go after this loan. You can't get it right now, but I think this will open up. I think it really will.
And that's a good deal, of course. Now it's just straight debt, right?
Yeah.
There's no forgiveness option on it, no grant part to it, so it is straight debt. But again, if you're trying to weather the storm right now, you're financially affected. You've got equity in the property. You don't want to lose it, of course. You know we're going to come back. I mean, these are really good options to go get debt because we're already seeing the banks starting to tighten up on their lending themselves. Not to mention they're overwhelmed with these PPP loans that they are still processing, even though the money's ran out. So this could be a really good option. And I like the 200 grand for those of you that might just need 200 grand for up to that amount at least in the short term to get you through because that requires no personal guarantee.
Now, I just got a text from a client too during this. We had a question earlier that are the stimulus checks going to be garnished by prior IRS debt, student loans? I saw an article last night on CNN that the government's trying to stop that. They don't want that to happen. But I just had a client who said they got hit. You said you've seen somebody, Aaron, on that?
Yep, one of my buddies just got it taken out. He had some IRS liens.
And they said, sorry, you didn't get your $1,200. Did they give him a piece of it, or they just kept the whole thing?
Kept it all.
Did they email him, or what? How did he know?
He just called in because it was showing pending in the account and then went away.
Oh, okay. I'm going to repeat that for those who didn't hear it. He said his friend, this is Aaron Hollerman, he's going to be here for our big, did I say your last name wrong? I did.
No, you did.
Okay, good. Oh my gosh. You kind of look like You say, Mark. All right, Aaron. He's our marketing director and plays so many different roles in our directed trust company this weekend. Now, there's a little side note, little plug. We're starting tomorrow at noon. We're doing a day and a half live virtual stream from right here. We're gonna have props for every scene. It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
We got some good stuff. And we're talking about self-directing IRAs, 401ks. We're gonna do a full stimulus bill update on Saturday morning. It's $99. And now, it's a lot of work to prepare for it and to be here for a day and a half. We're doing little Q&As like this for free, but if you can invest $99 this weekend, it's fully recorded, you get a workbook, and it's gonna kick butt. And if you do come out to Idaho, you can join us live, and I will buy you a donut.
Yeah.
And maybe some diet.
Yeah, for the first 10 people, because then there's no more.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, but that's this weekend. Now, if you want to sign up for that webinar this weekend, or virtual broadcast, it's not even, I mean, it's here. We're going to be on the whiteboard the whole time. Go to either the KQS Lawyers website, the markjkohler.com website, the SDIRA Handbook website. You can sign up at any of those locations. And tomorrow morning, we'll be sending you a Zoom link, and you'll be good to go. All right, now, what Aaron said is his friend had the stimulus check wire pending in his bank account, and then it disappeared, and they took it for an IRS lien. So, not good. Ugh. All right, well, next question was Roberta. Oh, do you want a rock star? It's cold. You can have it if you want. You don't have to.
I do.
It is cold. Okay, Roberta in Utah.
So question, if an international family, only one son is American, and they work legally and pay taxes, and they file taxes, would they be able to receive the stimulus check?
I've got this in my article too. If you're a, wow. Okay, so if you're, if they have a green card, resident alien, paying tax with a social security number, I would think they're gonna get, but I'm gonna pontificate. I've gotta look that up. Maybe one of our people here, Aaron, while you're here, would you look that up? See if a non-citizen can get the stimulus check depending on if they have a social, non-resident alien, green card, where the line is drawn. I don't know, do you know?
I do not know.
Okay, Aaron's gonna find the answer for us, Roberta. Okay, Jose in?
Jose from Texas.
All right.
I make 10K as a
Hold it,
1090.
Jose. Have you been to Buc-ee's? I gotta know. Okay, better point that down below. Jason over here went to Buc-ee's 3 weeks ago, brought me back some nuggets. What do they call them? Beaver nuggets. Oh, so good. I've got a coronavirus 10-pound gain problem, and the beaver nuggets were part of that. Okay, all right, keep going.
It's called the Quarantine 15.
Yeah, the quarantine 15, is that what it is?
That's what it is,
I hope it's not 15. I want a quarantine 10. All right, okay, Jose in Texas.
You
All
got
right.
5 pounds.
I make 10K as a 1099 last year and got hired part-time. I am part-time right now. I also registered my single member LLC last year. Have not heard back from Idle. The bank told me PPP was not for me, and I didn't receive the stimulus check.
And he
What
did?
should I do? Not.
Boy, anything else, Jose? World peace? You want the cure for coronavirus too? Anything
That
else?
sounded like a strikeout, right? That
Yeah.
was like
Oh, okay.
the 3.
Okay. If you have a 10 grand 1099, Jose is going to file, like we talked about earlier, a Schedule C. He's going to have income of 10 grand, write off all of his expenses. With 10 grand, Jose, I'm going to whittle that down to 0 because cell phone, auto, home office, travel, dining, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to wipe that out. And that's okay. That 10 grand becomes tax-free. The problem is it's not going to make you a candidate for a PPP. You're not an employee, so you're not going to get the EIDL.
Let's say this. Let's say
What do you
even
got?
if you had 0 expenses, let's say you had 10,000 net, all right? Will you still take 10,000 net on your 2019 return? And what is that, 2.5 times payroll of
1,000 a month?
of less than 1,000 a month? Your PPP loan's gonna be maybe $1,500. Well, if you did 1,000, but
Yeah, if we did 1,000, we're looking at 2,500 approximately. It's probably going to be about
maybe
$2,000.
a couple thousand bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's say a couple $1,000 bucks. A bank is not excited to write a PPP loan for $2,000. So when the bank tells you it's not for you, it's kind of not. I mean, 2,000 is good, but that's assuming you had 0 expense. So if you had half this, your PPP would maybe been $1,000.
And you're going to lose money because let's say you take the 10 grand as profit. You gotta have one of these. They're really good. If you take that 10 grand as profit, you got to pay FICA on it. That's 15.3. So you're going to have 1,500 in self-employment tax. Now, where's Jose in Texas? So no state tax, but he's going to have Fed. He's probably going to be out another 10% at least. You're going to spend $2,000 in taxes to get a PPP of $2,000. It's not worth it. Now there are other pieces. They're good, huh? There are other pieces to the stimulus package you might be able to get later in the year. If you start making some good money later in the year, stay in touch. And on that note, I want to tell everybody, sign up for the weekly newsletter. Also, hit the bell icon on YouTube. Whenever we go live, you'll get a ping. But if you sign up for the newsletter, Jose, every week we're giving you tips, deadlines, little videos, little clips to keep you up to date. Because if you get out there and you make $100,000 with that 1099, we can do a lot to help you, even with the stimulus package. But you got to get out and make some money. All right.
Well, on the stimulus check, though, Jose should still get the
Oh,
stimulus
yeah,
check.
yeah.
Because that's one you haven't received yet, but did you file 2019 yet? Have you filed for 18? So if you're not on the IRS's system, if you haven't filed yet, you might have a problem. Now, Mark's been sharing the link where you can go to put in your information to get the stimulus check, but let's presume you filed 19. The IRS has your bank account information because you've got a prior refund or you've paid tax that way. You'll be coming through. People are cycling through and getting their payments just because all your friends and you've seen everybody on Facebook say they got, or whatever social media that they got their paid. Not everybody's got paid yet, so that's still cycling through.
Yeah, and I would say this too. Just because you didn't get your stimulus check means you're not going to get it. They only sent out in phase 1 the checks to people where they have banking information. So Jose, if you owed last time, you wrote a check to the IRS. You don't have a bank account on file with the IRS. You only do that if you have a refund. So you may want to file your 19 right away, and checks are supposed to be mailed within the next 2 months. So on the article, that all you have in the link there with the 10 strategies, there's a link on where you can go to the IRS and update your banking info. Maybe go there, see if you can pull it off.
You know that donut? I mean, the calories right here. 3 little donuts, 240 calories.
I don't count calories. Look at this, but you're making up for it because calories 10.
I know, that's why when you offered me that, I was more interested.
So you're allowed the donut because this is only 10 calories.
Yeah. That's how you fight the quarantine 15.
Joyce and Salt Lake, right? Okay.
If my annual salary increase is deferred, does that make us eligible to withdraw $140K from my husband's IRA account without penalty?
Whoa, I like it. An IRA question for Mr. Sorensen. Start that over. So if
I got it.
You got the answer?
Yeah.
Okay, you freaking go for it, dude.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
I mean,
I kind of didn't get it.
I got it on the first take.
Okay, all right.
Joyce. So, okay, spouses.
Put it in English for all of us.
Okay, so there's a new rule that allows you to get it.
I know. If you touch too much, you got to go there and then hit black again. Don't let your hand hit it. There you go.
I'm a rookie here.
Okay.
But okay, I got some assistance. Okay, 100,000 is the max you can take. So now this is a new distribution rule that came from the CARES Act on March 27th that said you can take up to 100,000 from an IRA.
You're good.
Okay. Do you want to be my scribe? Because
No,
I
you're
suck.
good. Okay.
IRA or 401k.
All right.
So you can take a distribution up to 100 grand. Now there's no early withdrawal penalty of 10%. You used to have an early withdrawal penalty if you pull money out early from your retirement account. But because of all this havoc that's gone on financially for everyone, they've said you can pull out up to 100 grand, no penalty. You can pay the tax over 3 years, and you can even put the money back in within 3 years and pay no tax and keep the money in your retirement account. So they gave a lot of people options really to access money out of their IRA or 401k. Now, there is a qualification rule for this, and this got to, was it Joyce? Got to her question, which was, do we qualify? My husband's salary's been reduced. Okay, here's the qualification. You've been financially affected, and you live in a state that has a stay-at-home or shelter-in-place order, or the city you're in, or you have a dependent child that's at home because their school's been closed, you have to care for, or you or a spouse or dependent has unfortunately had
You get a
coronavirus.
two for at least 2 of those.
But the easy one is I mean, I think we have 43, 44 states that have shelter in place or stay-at-home orders. And the few that don't, most of the big cities in those states have instituted stay-at-home or shelter in place. So most Americans qualify automatically. You're probably only pulling this money if you're financially affected anyways. And there's no demonstration you have to show to your retirement account administrator that you qualify. You self-certify that you're financially affected and that you need the money.
Okay, now just to give you a little teaser. Tomorrow and Saturday, when we're talking about this, we've got a Roth conversion payback strategy. Ooh, or what could we call it? The backdoor Roth conversion stimulus strategy. We got to come up with something really cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, let's
So if
workshop
you want to do some Roth converting, we're going to hit it this weekend. Okay. Is this Jennifer, my wife, saying, "Where are you?" Yeah.
She also wants to know.
Where she's from, though. Jennifer, she said that I earned over 200,000, in 2018, so I would not qualify based on that return. I am currently working on my 2019 return. Will they consider 2019 if I get it in before July 15?
Yes. In fact, the stimulus checks are supposed to go out throughout the year. The statute says they have the entire year to get the checks out. So theoretically, Jennifer, if you file your 19, even up until October 14th, with an extension, you have until October actually, and your income is under the threshold and you're eligible, then I'm looking over here at Jennifer's whiteboard instead of her. Jennifer, okay. Jennifer, if you qualify after you file your 19 return, you can still get that stimulus check up until December 31st. How they're treating the stimulus check is an advance on your 2019. Sorry. They're treating it as an overpayment on your 2019 return. So if you qualify, it's like they threw in $2,000 of tax paid in on your behalf. So if you actually owe on your tax return, the amount you owe would go down, or you're going to get the stimulus check. But the main thing is Jennifer, you're on it. File your freaking return. Get in there. Get your 19 done. And if you qualify, sooner the better. If you don't qualify, who the heck cares? So there you go. All right. Troy in the OC.
Troy asked, if I take out the 100K from my 401k for a down payment on a house, will the tax benefits of buying a home offset the taxes from taking out of the 401k?
Ooh, you got all sorts of options, Troy. Okay, we got option 1 and 2. Which one do you want?
I'll take door number 2.
Door number 2. Matt's going to take door number 2. He doesn't know what door number 2 is. So I'm going to say door number 1 is this.
I think I just got
screwed.
I
Yeah.
just got sharked.
Okay, I will actually be nice to Matt here and let him talk about something new. I'm going to repeat what Matt said to Joyce just a moment ago. Troy, option 1 is if you do a distribution, you're going to pay tax over 3 years, and you want to do the math on that. I don't know what it's going to be. Are you going to take a full $100,000? Are you going to take 50? And then I don't know what tax bracket you're on. So you could get with your accountant and run the numbers. Find out what you think you're going to owe, divide it by 3, and there's your tax bill. Then I've got to look at the other side of the equation and say, what is this house really going to get me in write-offs? You're in California. The state tax deduction sucks. Mortgage interest has now been reduced on the amount of mortgage you can have and deduct interest. So you may not be getting as much bang for your buck as you think in buying a home. You'll get something, but we don't know yet. It depends on your bracket, how much the home is, how much your mortgage is. So a little bit of math with your accountant, within an hour or less, you should be able to find out what the savings would be versus what the cost and the tax would be. I'm going to go out on a limb and say, I don't think the cost of the home and the mortgage interest deduction is going to be enough to offset the tax on this.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, because in order to do that, you'd have to have a big home with a big mortgage, and that's been limited now as of the last tax reform that we had, because like a mortgage of $1 million or more on a home, which is a modest house in Orange County.
Yeah, that's a mobile home in Orange County. So
Sorry, Troy. I mean, but like maybe it's like got some nice
double
parking.
wide.
Some nice parking.
Could be near the beach.
Yeah.
Dana Point's got a good mobile home park right down there.
They really do.
It's nice.
Beach access. But
Okay, there's a third strategy here. I'll bring this one up after Matt does door number 3.
Let me give a thought though on that. Besides the tax,
Okay.
is it's turning a little bit into a buyer's market in the real estate world. And so this could be the year to buy. If you've been waiting to shop, if you've been waiting to buy, there's two great things for buyers right now. Let's say you're still in a good position financially. You've got your job, your business is doing okay. You're not, getting torn apart right now like a lot of people. You could be taking advantage of the situation from a financial
Jerk.
standpoint. Yeah.
Okay.
Rates are low. Okay. Rates are low.
Look at rates
for
are
sure.
low, buyer's market.
Pricing's down. You're going to get something better than you would have 2 months ago. That's for dang sure. And you can have access to this money if you need a little bit to maybe avoid some mortgage insurance that you might have otherwise had to pay to get some down payment. And don't worry too much about the tax. I think that'll be nominal here because of the reasons Mark pointed out.
Yeah, the 3-year deferrals be nice. Now, let's come to, since you talked about one, I get two now.
I added a rider.
You ridered one, so now I get first take on two. Okay, two is,
I don't even know what 2 is. So that's good.
I think two is better, Troy.
Okay.
Borrow from your 401k.
I like that. Good call.
Okay, you can borrow from the 401k up to the same freaking amount. Prime plus 1, or is it just prime?
Prime plus 2.
Prime plus 2.
Which prime's about 3 1/4.
Yeah,
so
and check
5.
this out. You're paying interest to yourself.
Yeah.
That interest is going back into your 401k tax-free. And the interest on the 100 grand is going to be a lot cheaper than the tax on the 100 grand. Plus, you're going to get that money back into your 401k over the same time period. I don't know if I could write that 401k money off, but you know what? If you use that 100 grand as the down payment, it's purchase money. It'd be interest. Well, you can only write off the first mortgage. I don't know. Do you think we could get the mortgage interest deduction on this?
On a loan from the 401k?
Yeah. I don't know. In the good old days, you could because we call it a second.
Yeah.
But you can't do that now. But if it's for the
If
purchase,
yeah,
you might be able to get that.
Actually.
Yeah, you might even be able to deduct the interest, let alone pay it back to yourself tax-free. Okay, so that's the borrow. Anything you'd want to add on that?
No, I think you're right. That is a better option. And
because this is sacred money.
Yeah, that's sacred money. Now you have to get this back in, or it is considered a distribution.
5?
But yeah, you've got 5 years, and but there's no tax. So like in option 1 with the distribution, you would have had tax in next year. Here, you're kicking it out for 5 years.
Oh, it'd be a major difference. Now you're saying.
And this 100,000. So the old rule was you could take half the balance of your 401k not to exceed 50,000. Now, under the Stimulus Act, the CARES Act, you could take 100% of the balance not to exceed 100,000. So if you only had a $110,000 401k, you could take 100 grand out right now under this loan. Whereas 2 months ago, you could take 50.
Yeah, I love this. And now this is an important side note, and I know many of you watching today, you're watching because you're in some financial pain. You need some answers. The funny part is, the ironic part is we've got a lot of clients that have built up some reserves and they've been waiting for this day. And I say that not to be mean or bad or unethical, but this is what Warren Buffett did in 2008 and 9. The market crashed. He bought $1 billion worth of real estate. Boom. He's like, I was waiting, it's buyer's market. And so we've got a lot of strategies with the stimulus package to help the wealthy as well as those that are struggling. So it's good stuff. Okay, now number 3, I'm gonna blow it up. Troy, forget buying your own house. You're in Orange County. I lived in Orange County. It was cheaper to rent and buy a rental property in the Midwest and make money on that 100 grand. You're freaking, what kind of house are you gonna buy for 100 grand? You're looking at a jumbo loan. You're gonna have to put down 20%. Freaking maybe $1 million, it's bare minimum. I don't know where you're gonna buy. And so freaking use that 100 grand and go buy a rental property. Now when you borrow from the 401k, that interest is a deduction to go out and buy a rental property that's gonna create cash flow. And that cash flow will pay your rent in Orange County. You see that? Buy a rental, create cash flow, pay your rent to live in Orange County and build equity in a rental for when you leave. Pen drop.
Yeah.
There you go.
There's a 4th option though.
Oh, okay.
There's a 4th option. Just because we're talking about real estate. Now,
It's okay.
all right. What did I do? Okay. Option 4.
Ooh.
Okay. Now take the 401k, move it to a self-directed IRA, that can buy real estate as an investment, just like your IRA can own stocks or mutual funds. You can have an IRA, that's what Directed IRA, our company does, that owns real estate directly. Now you're building up that retirement account in real estate. Now, if you're like, well, I'm looking for a home, Matt, that didn't help me. I'm just giving you an idea, Kara, of how to build your retirement account and grow it. Because what can you do with that retirement account? You can come back and still borrow cash from it. You can borrow other cash out from the 401k as you're building up your real estate assets in there. If you believe real estate's a good buy right now because of things happening in the market, that could be a way to use your available cash.
The
I'll
trick
get
is
this.
here,
I'm gonna
you
practice
got,
with this tonight.
Yeah, when you do this, you got to go up high.
Okay.
And that'll hook
I
you
was
up.
wondering why you looked so. I mean, it does look a little. dorky
I
when you
do look dorky, but
Okay.
I've screwed this
It's
up enough.
practical.
Logan knows it. Okay. Now, and on this note, this little LLC. Hey, Troy. Little, side note. Don't buy a freaking house in Orange County. I couldn't live in Orange County as a self-respecting tax lawyer and pay 50% taxes and living there, and the cost of living, property taxes. You know what I'm saying, Aaron? Huh? We got him into
We're
Phoenix.
moving.
Yeah, you're already out of California.
We still have a residence there.
What the heck? Are you living in Arizona though?
No.
Not yet.
You're still commuting?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, Aaron, he's trying to get out of OC too. Yeah, it's a
Sandy.
buyer's market. Good move. Waiting too long, bud. Okay, sorry. Okay, John, where's John from?
Texas.
Texas, another Texas.
We have another
Bucky
Texas.
visitor.
Oh
Okay.
my
Also,
gosh.
Jose from earlier said Bucky's rocks.
Oh, sweet.
okay.
Jose's been to Bucky's. It rocks. Man, for
Don't
some.
encourage him.
I know, barbecue at Bucky's right now. Okay.
Anyway, so John asked,
Okay, hold it. It's a Texas question. All right, Texas question. The hat goes on.
I have an escort with me and my spouse as employees. Can the ERC apply to both myself and my spouse pay as employees? Can I also
Hello, does the what apply? The idle?
the
ERC.
ERC
Employer retention credit.
Okay, keep going.
apply to both myself and my spouse pay? Also, can I take the Family Medical Leave Act at the same time or after my wife's time is used up?
Oh my gosh. John, I love your questions, and you're a perfect candidate for a consult. I'm excited about it because I love the Family Medical Leave Act, emergency sick pay, and then you're going to try to throw the employee retention credit on top of that. Plus, we could defer taxes. You got the stimulus check. There's 5. Now, here's the thing: you cannot do the PPP and the employee retention tax credit and the payroll deferral. So you have to choose one of the two, or one or the two. So I'm going to give 2 examples. I think you're going to like this.
Okay,
This is
yeah.
a new strategy I've been brewing on. Okay. All right. Sorry, I spit all over. I
You
got
got a little excited there.
I got excited. Okay.
Foaming at the
Strategy number 1. Now this is good, everybody. Strategy number 2. Where are we at on time? Okay, we got about 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. Strategy number 1. Let's say you're making $100,000 or more, husband and wife, S corp, and we're doing payroll. I am going to say 100 to 200 grand. You're doing pretty well in your S corp. I'm not going to do the math here, but you're going to have, both of you are going to have W-2s. You're going to probably have a 401k off to the side that you've been funding, and we're going to go PPP all the way. And then we're going to talk about maybe unemployment for one of the spouses. We're going to talk about emergency paid sick leave. We're going to hit FMLA. We're going to get idle for $2,000. I mean, we're going to pop 4 or 5 strategies in on this. That's number 1. Now, what I'm seeing is those clients that are like, Mark, I'll be good to make 80 to 100 grand. And it's just me. It may just be me, and I've got, or husband and wife even, but we're going to make 60 to 80 grand, and our W-2 might be 30 to 40,000. Well, at that level, your PPP is going to be $8,000 or less. It's not going to look good. And I don't want to go for that. What I want to do is get the employee retention tax credit, which is going to be $5,000 per person. So I'm already at 10 grand right there. Plus you could defer the payroll taxes for up to 2 years. And I could still go get the emergency paid sick leave for maybe one of the spouses or the FMLA. So I can do, but you're not going to do the PPP. So what we're seeing is this line in the sand that if you're, and I don't know where the number is yet, but I'm feeling it's like 40 grand, that if you're making less than 40K, skip the PPP. go over here and get this tax credit of $5,000 per employee. And you can play with that all year long. And if some of you are saying, well, I'm an LLC right now, I'm not even an employee. Well, we can retroactively make that S election later in the year. So John, this is where a little strategic planning with your advisor or one of our tax lawyers, I think we could get you 10 to 20 grand in some unique ways, and you don't even go down the PPP aisle.
I like that. That makes a lot of sense. I've been reading this ERC stuff from Mark J. Kohler, so I'm getting up to speed on this one. It's true. Like in Mark's last article, he talked about how PPP was the hot topic and everyone went down on it fast to go get it, which was great. But for a lot of people that aren't going to get PPP or don't have a big payroll, it's not going to help you much.
Yeah.
And ERC is going to be a better bet to get. There's no funding cap on it.
Yeah.
And for those that are in that little sweet spot there, I like that income level. I think that's right around 40 is where it does look right from the numbers.
Yeah, I think we'll see how that plays out. Okay, couple more questions. Who we got?
We got Gerald from I don't know.
Okay.
He says, as I understand it, the stimulus check is in advance on next year's return. Is that the case?
No, Gerald, my understanding, we had a conference with the AICPA at a nationwide webinar last week. That's the Association of Independent American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, AICPA. I'm a member of it. I pay them dues. I should freaking know what it stands for. Anyway, okay. AICPA and all the accountants and CPAs and attorneys I'm talking with, and until I learn otherwise, it is actually being treated as an overpayment on your 2019 tax return. Now that makes it easy for the IRS to account for it, because they're just saying, hey, it's an overpayment. There's your money. Now what you're right about, Gerald, is if anybody received it and they weren't supposed to, they're going to make up for it on the 2020 tax return. You're going to have to pay it back. And they didn't want to go back and fiddle with the 19 forms because they're already out there. So, but if you receive it and you were supposed to receive it in 19, you're done. It's not going to show up on your 2020 return at all. If you got it and you weren't supposed to, you're going to deal with it on 2020. All right. Is this our last question? Then we're going to give away a book here? Okay. All right.
So I have two last questions. First one is from Hassan. He
I think
asked,
it's Hassan.
Hassan.
Come on.
Sorry, if I pronounced it wrong. If my PPP loan is approved but not funded yet, does this mean that I'm not getting funded if the money ran out? I got approved a week ago.
Okay,
That may be, yeah.
if you got SBA approval, my understanding was the money was getting allocated at SBA, and so because we've even seen some money getting funded today, and stuff. I've talked to clients. So if you were approved through SBA with your bank, that doesn't mean you turned in your application. There's an actual approval that the bank submits to your loan to get you in the SBA system, that once they get the approval, they start doing the docs. Yeah. Now, a lot of the banks were hustling. They weren't worrying about funding loans, quite honestly.
Yeah.
They knew that this thing was ticking. So they were trying to get as many approvals in on their applications as they could. So you're likely okay, so long as your bank really did get SBA approval on your loan. Not internal bank, we think your application looks good, like they got the SBA approval.
Yeah, and I'll just try to write it with a little diagram here is, you apply, the bank says everything's in order, we submit it to SBA, and they allocate part of that $350 billion to you. So when they were reporting in the news today, they were saying the money's gone, meaning we've allocated it.
Yep.
It doesn't mean that we've sent it out yet, but everybody that's been approved is gonna get it. Now, the thing that makes me concerned, Hassan, is if your bank says you were approved a week ago, we've had a lot of clients that the bank comes back, yeah, there was a problem. They could be full of crap. And because if they waited a week to print docs, that's a little odd too.
Yeah, the only caveat I would say is that I think a lot of the banks got smart, quite honestly, with
just
the
worried
resources
about
they
this?
had, and just worried about getting the SBA approval for as many people as they can. Some of the businesses were dying, like they had payroll going out the next day, right? They were pushing for the loan to fund. Some businesses are like, I just want to get my application approved. Frankly, my employees are sitting at home doing nothing right now. I don't want to bring them back. Let's fund this later. So
yeah, I'm going to amend that and say there's 4 things. You apply, you submit, it gets approved. Yeah, we got approved by SBA. That's 3. Then they're going to prep loan docs as 4. Then you're going to get the money.
Yeah.
Now, if they say you're approved, you're at phase 3. I would be bugging the bank going, when do I get my loan docs? And we're going to find out really, Hassan, if they have their crap together. Because that's what you want to sign. We had clients, and in fact, in one of our PPPs, we got money within the same day of signing loan docs. So that money comes quick once you sign.
The last question is from Jonathan. Is the SDIRA Summit tomorrow available to replay anytime as I sign up, but I cannot attend live? Thank you, guys.
Matt, is your summit?
Excellent question.
Yes.
The answer is yes. It will be recorded. So, and you can come back and watch it as many times as you want, have access to all the materials. So, come for even the parts you want. And it's sdirasummit.com.
Is it 2 M's, 1 M?
2 M's.
2 M's, 1 T?
Yep.
I never know if it's 2 T's or 2 M's.
Yeah.
I know, I went to college.
SDIsummit.com. Yeah.
.com.
Mark went to college for like 10 years.
Yeah, I got dumbers. I went to more dumb. Dumber. Is dumber a word?
Pricing goes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, price. You gotta lock it in today though. Pricing goes up tomorrow.
Ooh.
So it's $99. If you buy tomorrow, it's $199.
Woo, that's a good pressure
get on
move.
that, yeah.
Okay, $99 by midnight tonight.
Yeah.
By midnight
Yep.
tonight,
Yep.
then you can get in, recorded, watch a part of it, watch it later, get the workbook, Q&A, stimulus update, invite your friends and family over, have a big party on Saturday. We'd love to see you. We'll be right here next to each other. I'm going to shower tomorrow, so it's not as bad.
I was gonna ask
Okay,
if you were.
all right,
Thank you.
I will.
I was
Okay.
curious.
Everybody, Summit. Oh, I've also got my quarantine special that I'm holding until every stay in place. What's it called when you're living
Shelter
in place?
in place?
Shelter in place. Stay in place.
They call it stay at home in Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Because our governor,
You know,
not shelter in place was a
Shelter in
little too
place,
aggressive.
yeah. If it was like 110 degrees in Arizona, it'd be like, we're staying home anyway. Okay, but okay. As long as there's a shelter in place somewhere in the country, I'm doing my 90% off quarantine special off all my education. So all my digital videos and books and audiobooks, $99, and I only do it for the Cyber Monday in the fall once a year, but I'm leaving it on during this. I want you to study at home. Use this time wisely. Keep learning. And I'm shooting videos as much as I can to update those and just keep them rolling. It's a lifetime membership. You never get hit again. And subscribe on YouTube and like us on Facebook, and we'll be back. And every Thursday at 4 o'clock until the shelter in place is over. Aaron.
Let's talk about the alien status.
Alien. Oh, Aaron got an answer for us. Who was that? What was their first name? Roberta. From where? Do we
Utah.
remember? Utah. Roberta in Utah. Okay, Aaron.
Okay, so resident alien. Now let me do this.
Okay.
So you have to be either a U.S. citizen or a resident alien, and the definition of a resident alien is the green card test or the substantial presence test, and that's both on the IRS website. The substantial presence test is the one like the 31 days, 183 days, I believe, if I look it up real quick.
And then you should get the stimulus pack.
And you need to have a
check.
Social Security number as part of
Substantial.
that resident alien status. Okay, but if you're a non-resident alien and not a U.S. citizen, doesn't
No way.
apply.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And you need a social security number. And in my article, I give some links of where you can go to the IRS, update your information, your banking information. The IRS doesn't want to mail checks. It is a lot cheaper for them to do a wire transfer. So they want you to go there and update your info. So, well, my name is Mark Kohler. We're here every week trying to answer questions to better live your American dream. Small business, love it. Oh, I got to sign a book. Can you hand me that pen? You know what we're going to do today? We are going to give away
Oh, yeah.
Matt Sorensen's book,
God, that's a great book.
and I will sign it for you.
Oh, it's usually worth $20. It's now worth 15.
Okay, Matt Sorensen's going to, we got to date it. It is the 16th, 4/16/20.
Yeah.
Okay, you can sign it
Okay,
too.
I'll sign it. Oh.
Did it run out of ink? Oh, sorry about that. Okay, so this is even worth more now on eBay. This is a self-directed IR handbook, 2nd edition. For everybody that shares this, Rosalie in the morning looks at all the shares. She hand writes all of your names on a piece of paper, goes around the office, finds Logan, and he pulls out a name out of a hat, and you will win this book. Then she will contact you, get your mailing information, and you'll receive this free. if you cannot sleep at any moment. No, I wouldn't say that. My books, though, they really keep you awake. They're really good. You can get those on Amazon. Okay, everybody. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you this weekend for the summit. Be here. See you later. Good luck.